Grumble, grumble.
Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am coming back at you with another in my COVID-19 recovery video series for Oathsworn. My throat is really not doing that great, so I'm hoping that by kicking off the story event, the first story event in Oathsworn, and using the app, that it'll do the talking for me for the most part. So that's what we're going to do. This is chapter 1. I've got most of the setup done, I believe. I'll be playing as the Penitent as a full character, along with the Exile. And then I've got the Ranger and the Priest as companion characters, because I wanted to try out the companion system and see what that looks like. So, don't know that we need much more in the way of a preamble. So I think that basically covers us, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's kick this bad boy off. Okay. So, sucks at your boots. I've a map. This is chapter 1. It's called Bastogne. So the first thing you do is you click on the instructions. It tells you open mystery envelope A and place its contents in the center of play. So let's start there. Ooh, mystery envelope A. One thing I really like about the mystery envelopes in this game, they didn't seal them, which means that you can reuse them, you can repackage them. They will not be destroyed on being opened. And let's see what we've got. And what we've got is, of course, a map of the City of Bastogne, it looks like. Wow. That is a very, very, very cool looking map. This, particularly for a board game. This is the kind of map that you would see in, like a New York Times best-selling fantasy book, like The Wheel of Time or something like that. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Basically, gonna put it thereabouts. Try and get it as close as I can. This game is definitely a table hog. I probably don't have it set up optimally right now, but even still, I imagine it's quite the table hog. Place the free company marker on location 21. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what the free company marker is. I don't know. I thought it was just like the miniature. Yeah, free company marker. Use one of your Oathsworn character models. I use the Penitent. We'll have him lead the group. Here's your push fit Penitent. Pretty dope ass looking figure, frankly. 21, so they're on the wire road still. They are outside of the gates. Time track beneath the map. Take a path card. Yeah, so this is the chapter 1 time path, as you can see. Should place that there. And take the path A card. telepathic. Just set this here. Okay, now we should get into the story.
Every stride a challenge. Green mud sucks at your boots. Every stride a challenge as you trudge through the rain. Your hands grip the thick iron cable of the wire road, pulled taut through rings, sunken into the trunks of hideous trees. For days now, it has been the only evidence of humanity's existence in the deep wood. Clinging to this lifeline has not worked for everyone, though. You are one less than when you left Verum. It was nothing any of you saw, just a thrum on the wire behind you, and then a scream disappearing into the dark. The memory is fresh in your mind, but this is not the time to mourn, not here. As you travel, vines and black tree trunks, spattered with sickly pink cysts, block your view ahead. Things slither away and rustle through the undergrowth, but they are of little concern. One cannot afford to jump at every noise in this place, or else you'd go mad. It is only when the sounds slither towards you that you need to worry. Relief from walking through this overgrown hell is promised as the huddled profile of the fortress town of Bastogne looms in the distance. They are the ones that sent for you. People have been dying here, though not of hunger or of the deep wood. Those don't leave much of a man when they're done. Something else is happening here, something that is leaving plenty of bodies. The crumbling city walls tower before you. As you approach them, you spot something laying at their base.
Okay, so I have a choose your own adventure element. Explore the base of the wall or get out of the rain and head for Bastogne's gates.
A driving rain batters the city walls as its ancient gravestones stand in defiance of the deep wood's reaching limbs and the beasts that stalk beneath them. The deafening roar of the downpour hinders your ability to detect the sound of any approaching threats. You stay alert, noting the danger. At the base of the walls you find jumbled piles of branches and bone collected together like nests. In one of the scattered nests lies a jawbone, most probably human. Woven into the twigs and branches of another nest is a cracked and broken mask, feminine in design. The once full face mask of delicate ceramic now lies shattered. What would a Thracian noblewoman's mask be doing here? The question is left unanswered as a glint catches your eye.
Write the keyword King Killer on your free company sheet. Okay. So you get a stack of sheets for your free company, which I have not named or anything yet. I'm going to call them I'm just going to call them the companions. King Killer. Interesting. Gain one random chapter 1 common item. Okay. Interesting. So, one of the things I really like about this game is that it came with some pretty decent card management. I really like these little boxes. This is actually almost identical to something that I do myself for Shadows of Brimstone. Except, I have these little plastic boxes and these kind of poorly made card dividers. So I really appreciate that they included this. And so I just flipped through it to the common item deck. Those decks are numbered. You can see here's the number 1 items. Make sure I got them all. Yep. Shuffle this up and I get a random item. Add a time token to the time track. Okay. So I'm assuming that there's an element of push your luck in terms of how much time you spend here. Like I may get an item here that is of value that will help me in the coming battles, but I may also waste so much time that I cripple myself for said fight. I don't know. I don't know how the system works, but there must be some give and take. All right, I got a short bow, so comes back. And let's take a look at the good old short bow. Weapon, two-handed bow, can only be used by the ranger and somebody else in the attacks. But so I don't think I can use this, but I can probably sell it. I can sell it for sure. I'm just gonna have the penitent hold it for now. And add a time token to the track. Okay.
Why would anyone leave something so valuable this side of the wall?
Place location token 22 and go there. So while I play through the game, obviously, I'd like to note what I can. First being that the cardboard in this game is of impeccable quality. I haven't had any problems. And the art really suits it. Alright, so go to the main gate. No split cardboard when I was punching it out. It doesn't even really feel like much of a downgrade from stuff like these incredible metal coins, so that's always good to know.
As you approach the thick wooden gate, a small slat slides unevenly open and a weary, coal-caked face peers out. Moments pass as he eyes you with suspicion, taking inventory of your many weapons. Then one of you reveals the mark on your wrist. He grimaces. Free company, let me get this open. The slat slams shut, and you hear chains strain as a mechanism pulls the gate open, swinging out just wide enough to squeeze through. You move into the gateway passage and find it blocked ahead by an iron portcullis, a second layer of defense creating a quarantine area. In the passage with you is a single table, lit by a foul-smelling lantern on the wall. You hand him your papers. I'm sure you know the drill, the guard urges as he thumbs through them. Arms extended out from your sides, he raps against you repeatedly with a short hollow tube of wood. He nods, then sniffs, satisfied you have brought nothing of the deep root in with you. You've not come too soon. More bodies last night, he says, as he moves to a rickety table in the corner to mark more paperwork. Papers say you're 5. A grim silence from you answers his next question. Right then, an oath fulfilled, I suppose. He looks uncomfortably away and motions towards a logbook with ink and quill beside it. Make your mark.
Oh, create a name for your free company. Define a key attribute of your free company by choosing which one of the following statements most accurately describes your company. Interesting. So my company is called the Companions. The 4 describe which one. The 5 options are as follows. You are faithful to your oath and to your God. You trust that your arm is given strength by more than mere muscle. You're the last one standing, the one who seals the breach and protects the innocent. Shoulder to shoulder, you will hold the line, whatever comes at you. The deep wood is fierce, but you're worse. You've never met a problem that can't be solved with a sharp edge. Death is a dance you know well. You flow through fights in perfect form. Training gets you only so far. The rest is raw talent. Discipline or death. Keep marching, keep moving, keep fighting until the job is done. Press in and press on. I'm going to choose discipline or death. All Oathsworn gain a permanent +2 animus token. Note this on your character card. So that's a little annoying because I have to then go into these bags. So another thing I really like about this game is these bags. I really like that they are specific to the character so that it's easy to tell which one you're grabbing. I like that they're also, black so that you can't see the inside in case, based off of the orientation of a card or something, you might find a spoiler, maybe able to read it through the bag. It's a really nice little touch. My character cards out here. I did all this setup and whatnot off screen, obviously. Everybody is getting +2 max animus, which sounds fantastic. Who knows what the other options were, though. Got a companion or something, like a man-at-arms to join me, or could have gotten another piece of gear. Well, I have to imagine that the extra animus for the entire campaign sounds about as valuable as it gets. I don't think that there necessarily is a +2 animus token. You mark it on your sheet, and then you get 2 extra animus gems. Because these guys each started with 8. Oh, I see. +2 animus. There is, during the encounter, at any time you may spend one of these tokens to immediately regenerate 2 animus. Companions use these differently. Okay, so there is such a thing as +2 animus token. I guess it's not their max animus that goes up, actually. And then, like I said, during the encounter, you may spend one of these tokens to immediately regenerate 2 animus, moving 2 animus from your reserve area to your available area. Companions. Oh, you need the encounter rulebook, which I don't have yet. We'll hold off on that until that comes up. I don't know why they refer to it as a permanent +2 animus token. That's a little odd, but what do I know?
The guard seals the paper with wax and nods to those outside the portcullis. With a slow grind, the iron gate raises to let you through. You understand your task. Find whoever or whatever is responsible for the unexplained deaths. As you step out onto the main thoroughfare of Bastogne, a sea of unwashed citizens churn through the mud, going about their daily struggle. "Welcome to my glorious Bastogne. A voice chimes from your right. You all turn to the voice. A street urchin, caked in dirt under an explosion of dark hair, leans nonchalantly against the outer wall. If I hadn't been so clever, I might have tried to lighten your pockets. Looks like you're too much for me, though, right? You come out of the green all bristling with blades fresh from the wire. No, me ma made no fool, and that's why I'll let you pass without paying my toll. Now, I know what you're thinking. We need that kind of charitable citizen to show us around. Well, usually I'd say no, what with all my responsibilities around town, but for you, I make an exception. For today, and I make this place feel like home for you. Get you anything or anyone you need. Take you anywhere you want and keep you from running into the less reputable around here.
Right.
Encouraged by the fact that you haven't left, the boy redoubles his efforts. Midge is a name, and there's none finer to see around these parts. It's clear you've no more need of muscle, but I've another skill. I can read. That's right, I stand before you as a scout, guide, scholar, and sage. Midge pushes his way between you to block your way to the town centre. Also, there may be 4 of you, but I think you need another pair of eyes. He grins and shows a spread of 4 iron coins in his hand. You really should take more care of these. He holds out the money to you. See? I told you you'd not pay my toll. So, do we have a deal then?
I'm gonna haggle with them. Perform a bartering check, difficulty 4. Fuck do I do that? Let's find out. Checks, page 14. Rulebook has a nice index. Very nice. Separate rulebook for story and encounter mode. I like that. It makes it less kind of, less of a grind to get through and get started relatively easily. Checks. Sometimes during a story encounter, you perform a check. All checks are resolved the same way. Only 1 check is made for the whole free company. Perform a check, decide on how many white cards to draw, up to a maximum of 10. From the white Oathsworn Might deck. This decision is made as a group if the check is being made for the whole free company. Draw the cards and total their values. If the total drawn on the cards is equal to or higher than the difficulty of the check, and you didn't draw so you can draw as many as you want. The total drawn on the cards is equal to or higher than the difficulty of the check, and you didn't draw 2 or more blanks after redraws, the check succeeds. The total drawn on the cards is less than the difficulty of the check, or you draw 2 or more blanks, the checks fail. And I believe that you can do everything in this game either with the cards or with the dice. They note that right here in the front here. A set of might dice is included, can be used instead of the deck. You can even combine the use of cards and dice at the same time. All rules are written from the perspective that cards are being used. That doesn't prevent the use of dice in these instances, and in all cases, the words draw and cards can be replaced with roll and dice. They do suggest you use cards for bad guy damage, though. Okay, so for the cards, basically, we have to decide how many we're going to draw, and then you draw them. And you're looking for cards with a number in the center. Basically, if you pull too many blanks, then you lose. And which deck? So there are 2 decks. There are the Oathsworn deck and the enemy deck. Just make sure that I'm looking at the right. This looks like the Oathsworn deck. these nice little deck holders, which are useful. Okay. Difficulty 4. How many cards should I draw? I need at least 4 successes. I'm going to draw 6. Oh. This is going to get wild. Make sure I didn't miss anything. During any type of check, redraw tokens may be used. In addition, empowered times 3 tokens may be used. I don't have any of those things. So. Yeah, screw it. Let's try 6. Let's see what happens. First of all, that's a critical. What do criticals do? Some cards have a critical symbol on them. For each card you draw with a critical, draw another card of the same color and add its value to your total. I'm not quite sure I understand what that means. Oh, okay. Draw another card of the same color and add its value to your total. Draw another critical symbol. Repeat this process. Any blanks drawn when drawing extra cards from criticals do not cause a check to fail. Okay, so I have 4 successes. Whoa. Whoa. I don't think it's going to go good. Oh my gosh, we passed. All right. So, that was tense. Yeah, if you don't draw 2 or more blanks, the check succeeds. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This blank is from the critical. Does not count. We just have the 1 blank, so we pass. So we lose 2 iron. The ranger will pay. Our little scamp. And then we get an ally card. Cards are in the free company bag. Midge is our ally now. And we get him for half off.
In tavern or pub, Midge grins. You're not sure what the difference is between the last 2, but correct his expectations and explain that you need to know more about the bodies. He shrugs. Been nasty. They've been finding bodies and bits of bodies all over the slums for weeks now. Nobody does nothing until a noble was found dead and scattered about an alley. Realization widens in his eyes. Are you them then? The Oathsworn? You nod and Midge grimaces. Bugger, we didn't agree no hazard pay. Ignoring the boy's comment, you begin to question him about the town. He tells you of various locations, and you begin to form a plan for the hunt. Bastogne has many of the usual landmarks, and there is a banksmith and apothecary to trade with for the supplies you may need for what is to come.
Okay. Now, one question I have is about the time, because I know that the time is 2, but I've only placed 1 token. Map navigation. You'll be told to place location tokens. When this happens, take the indicated location token and place it number side up on the corresponding numbered space on the city map. You can only visit locations that have a location token. When you move to a new location, move the free company marker there, remove the location token, and place it on the next available space of the time track. Okay, so I believe that this token is meant to be... No. Place location tokens 2, 3, 7, 12, 13, 14, 16, and 19. So you can only move to locations where there is a location marker. So I'm assuming that one of the benefits of hiring this fellow midge is that I have access to more locations. 2 is the archive. 3 is the apothecary. 7 is the underway. 12, we've got the market. 13 is Broken Oak, sounds like a pub. 14 is the town square. 16 and 19 is the banksmith. And now we have to choose a location to go to. We go to the town square.
Smells of cooking pots and the sound of fervent bartering roll over you. Glancing around, you meet the eyes of the destitute peering from dark alleys and crooked doorways. The square itself seethes with people who retreat to give your party a wide berth when they notice you, creating an island in the rolling sea of bodies. You come to another area, bereft of people. At the heart of the square is a 10-foot-tall iron post driven permanently into the flagstones. Heavy links hang from welded bolts, and a large ring of black soot scores the area at its base. Others you have seen of this kind are made from wood. How many people are they burning to warrant one made of iron? You canvass the area and discover that this functions as a crossroads between East and West Bastogne, and it seems no violent deaths have been discovered in West Bastogne.
All right. So I'm assuming it's north, southeast, west, which means that this side of the city has not been experiencing the violence that this side has. So I suppose that that's interesting. It helps us narrow down where the issue may be. We need to read a little bit more about the map navigation, though, I think. You'll be told where to place the location tokens. The various points in the story, you'll be asked to choose a location. Can't visit a location that doesn't have a location token on it. If the space on the time track depicts any immediate effects, resolve them before reading the location entry. Okay. Sometimes you will be told to place location token X and go there. In this case, place the indicated location token as normal and then move your free company marker there as though you had chosen to go there. If you're using the storybook, if you're using companion app, simply click on the location's name. You'll be in path card. I'm on path A. The time track. Moving to a new location takes 1 unit at a time, no matter the distance on the map. This is represented by moving the location token from the map to the time track. That makes sense. When location tokens and time tokens are placed on the time track, first fill the top row left to right, then the bottom. Some spaces show effects which are resolved in 1 of 3 different situations. Okay. This gains you a token. This makes you pull a city event. And this gives you an extra unique item. So all characters gain a Battleflow combat token once you hit this spot. The city event, draw and resolve a city card event. Draw a unique item card to add to the reward gained in the epilogue. Oh, I see. And there are end of story effects, immediate effects, and end of encounter effects. Yeah. Interesting. Alright. The free company, gaining clues. Clues affect the way the story progresses and represents the free company discovering important information that will help unravel a mystery. When you're instructed to gain a clue, take the corresponding clue token and place it near the time track. Interesting. All right. Okay, yeah, I found clue token 2. Clue tokens. Not really sure what. Never seen some clue tokens necessarily. Oh yeah, right. In our handy dandy little storage thing, which is a little thin, but it actually works surprisingly well. I'm actually really happy with it. Place location token 4. So this is to represent that we've narrowed down what's going on. Let's see. Okay. So, next up, we do have some iron in our pockets. And I heard tell of an apothecary. I think I might like to go visit him.
You have heard that there is an apothecary of sorts in this quarter, situated in the rooftops of a tenement. When you arrive, you find a standalone shack surrounded by gardens and a queue of people. Forcing your way through the door, you enter and find a room which is something between a library, a curiosity shop, and a vegetable stand. A young woman is hunched over a man sitting on a stool, tending a wound. "Wait your turn," the woman says angrily without looking up. When you make no move to leave, she wheels on you, then stops. A moment of panic crosses her face, but she quickly rights herself. "Oathsworn, you better be dying or know someone who is dying to barge in like this." You assuage her concerns and tell her you want to know about the rising body count in the town. "Well, I wouldn't know about that. The dead don't tend to come to me for pulses, now do they?" "No survivors, you ask?" "None that I heard of. Not that I go looking. I've got enough to handle here with the living." She turns back to the man in the stool. As she does, a rock crashes through the lone window in the room, showering it with glass. "You killed my dad, you witch!" comes a small boy's voice from outside. "She cursed him! I saw it!" This is followed by the sound of small feet running away across the rooftop. The apothecary is visibly shaken. You ask her what was that about, but she busies herself picking up glass and refuses to talk any further. If she knew anything, she was not forthcoming about it, and will be less so now.
You may start a trade with the apothecary. Okay, how do I do that? Banksmith and Apothecary. In every city, there are two special locations that you can visit for their services, the Banksmith and the Apothecary. There are two primary ways you can trade with them. Firstly, it is possible to place Banksmith and Apothecary location tokens during the course of the story that will allow you to gain access to these services without any additional cost. Secondly, you can send a runner to perform a trade for you. This will cost you some iron, but will also allow you to access their services at any point in the story. Sending a runner. When you're playing a chapter with a city, town, village map, start a trade with the Banksmith or Apothecary at any point. Don't move the free company marker to their special location, but instead pay a runner to go for you. Each time you send a runner, you lose an amount of iron equal to your current chapter. You may send a runner to the same one more than once during the same story, paying the cost each time. The Apothecary. Here, you can buy curatives that can stop you from receiving serious injuries if your character goes unconscious. When you start a trade with an Apothecary, you may buy up to 5 curative cards, each one costing an amount of iron equal to the current chapter. Whenever curatives are gained, they are placed in the injury deck, and the injury deck is then shuffled. Interesting. The Banksmith. Here, the free company can buy and sell items. When you start a trade with the Banksmith, take all the cards from the common item deck for the current chapter and place them face up in a row so that all players can see them. These item cards are available to buy at the Banksmith. Each costs an amount of iron equal to the number on the bottom back of the item card. Additionally, any items the free company currently has can be sold. Oh, right. And this would have actually gone into my backpack, not today's. Yeah. That's the bow that I got searching through the mud. Item can be sold for an amount of iron equal to half the number on the bottom back of the item card, rounded up. Okay. So let's take a look at the curatives. Again, very well organized, and it's not like I spent all day studying where this stuff is. So basically, I can buy any of these special curative cards to decrease the chances of pulling something bad from the injury deck, I'm assuming. I don't know when that necessarily comes into play, but I think I'll buy maybe 2 curatives, let's say. But let's see what our options are here. You suffer no injury. Oh, I see. That's what they all are. Okay. So it just says you suffer no injury, place this card back into the curatives deck. So maybe I'll buy... I'll just buy 2. So, I'll have him buy 1. And the penitent will buy 1. And then these go straight into the deck. Yeah. Go into this injury deck, which is full of what I assume is all sorts of nasty stuff. And then shuffle. I'm assuming that you have to uncover a certain number of clues before you can progress, basically. And so far I've only got 1. Do not know what else might be out there. But I definitely have a sense that I'm going to find more clues on the east side of the city than the west, so that's where I'm going to head, I think. In fact, I believe I will head to whatever location 16 is.
Rain trickles from an ill-hanging sign proclaiming this to be the watering hole. It is an apt name for this place, or at least the last part is. You enter the inn to the sight of gritty faces and dirty mugs. From the look of the men, this must be one of the dives of the underways workers. You hold out your hand, palm up, giving the pot's peace gesture to indicate you want no trouble, and make your way to the bar. Eyes flash to the free company marks on your wrists as you pass. You approach the innkeeper and ask what he knows of the deaths. I know I'm losing the pool. Jimmy, you're supposed to be dead by now. He shouts over your shoulder to a man in the corner. Men chuckle and go back to the drinks. Lost 3 good patrons this month. Randall swear he knows. Wait, perhaps you can help that dunce. You want to know what he knows? He's at the stocks. Try to get him out, will you? He's not a bad lad. He just doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut round the guards.
Place location token 20. Okay, we'll try to help young Randall. Since it seems he knows something of my business.
There are 5 stockades in the circle. Only one is currently occupied. A soggy young man with thick curly red hair sits dejectedly in the rain. A solitary guard leans under an archway, not far off, paying little heed. At the sight of you, the man brightens. Psst, hey, can you help me? Honest, I didn't do nothing. It's the guards. Corrupt as witchcraft. Iron's more important than blood to them. You're free company, right? You can do what you want. Come on, just lift that pin, and I'll do anything. You have the power to requisition this man, if he has what you need.
I'm going to go ahead and try and free him.
You easily pull the iron latch pin from the stockade. He massages his wrists. Pot's peace shine upon you, my friends. I owe you. You tell him what you need, and he readily agrees to tell you what he knows. There's this old body collector over in the burrows. He's had me looking for a buyer for a story he's telling. Says he knows who's responsible for the deaths. He'll want paying proper, though.
2 paths lay before you. Do you try to find this informant and seek what he knows, or do you search the town for other clues to the murder? You know you will not have time to do both. If you have less than 6 iron, you must choose to search the town for other clues to the murders. Okay, well I don't have less than 6 irons. So I'm going to go for the informant. Remove all location tokens. Place location token 24 and go there. Okay. Let's see. Remove. So. Alright. So location token 24 goes there. And I gain token. Oh, permanent tokens. It even says right here. In the game, you may also gain permanent tokens. Oh, note this on your character sheet. These represent your character gaining veterancy in their journey. At the start of each chapter, you gain a corresponding combat token for each permanent token you marked in your character sheet. Okay, good. This is not the right... I don't think that this is the right companion. This Man-at-Arms card. This is like a generic one. I want to say that there's like a whole deck of companions. Like this guy isn't named. The guy who's with me isn't named ally. Not just a random. Yeah, Midge. Mayor of Bastogne. He's a non-combat ally. Okay, couple things I need to clean up from earlier. Need to pull these back. And I do need to give everyone a free +2 Animus token. Because we're before battle, they can keep the ones that I already gave them. And then this token landed on that spot, which I believe, yeah, all characters gain a battle flow combat token. I don't know what that means. Sounds good.
You find the informant on the other side of town as daylight begins to wane. He's not much to look at, just another grimy face. He nervously shifts from foot to foot outside a ramshackle terrace. Behind him, you can see what must be his family peering nervously from a window. They look hungry. You need words. We need food. I'll tell you what you're needing.
3 iron, and I'll tell you what you're needing. So I have the options: try to barter with the man, give the man what he asked for and a little something extra. His family looks like they need it, or threaten the man to get what you need without paying. He's got his family standing right there. I'm going to give him what he needs. Use 6 iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Lose 6 iron. All Oathsworn gain an empowered ×3. Stacking up quite a few powerful benefit tokens for our soon-to-be battle with the not-so-mysterious creature on the box.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, and those who watch over you. Lost my little girl, Esper, a week back. The man utters a tear in his eye. This might just save the rest. It's the dead you need to find. People live, people die. He gestures to the wretched homeless lining the alley on either side of the street. When they do, the collector comes to clear. Used to be me. Take bodies, take names if they had any, and burns them. No sickness then. Burning's expensive though. Hard to find people to go out to the deep wood and cut it, especially after that lot didn't come back. Collector gets his iron for each body he cleans from the streets. Costs nothing just to throw a body over the wall. Not right though. That ain't the job. That cur Jeffet undercut me and got the work, but I've seen him going to the wall and paying those guards on the eastmost tower. They look the other way and over they go. You find the bodies, you'll find the answers. And if you happen to kill that whore's son who stole my livelihood, then good riddance.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Place location tokens 11, 17, and 25. Tower on the west side. That's the tower on the east side. And then you get 25. Let's see what's going on at this.
The guards here eye you warily as you ask to see their logbooks. They seem uncomfortable, but everything does appear to be in order after your questions and investigation. Whatever they might be hiding is probably about as innocuous as their nightly dice games.
Alright, so nothing's going on there, but I did trigger a city event. So I shuffled these up earlier, and now I gotta pull this. Let's take a look. A thin man, face plastered with fear, stumbles into you. Gripping your armor like it's the wire road, he manages to utter, "Help me," before a street gang barrels into view. They stare at the man with murderous intent. "Fister wants us to talk to you, Oliver," one of them says as they approach. "What do? Do you intercede on the man's behalf? Turn the card over, break the man's grip and walk away. Archive this event." I don't know that I really give a shit about this particular guy. Yeah, I think I'm going to archive this. Alright, let's go to the tower.
You know you won't be able to find the collector before nightfall, but you know exactly where the guards will be. Catching sight of the tower the man told you of, you head for the outer wall. The weather is worsening, and rain runs down the stairway leading up to Bastogne's outer wall. You ascend the grey stone steps in search of the guards. It does not take long to find them. A squad is hunched round a brazier of slow-burning amber, water tapping off their iron pot helms. You close the distance, shouting through the rain. "Are you the night watch?" "Who's asking?" One of them grunts, giving you a brief sidelong glance before returning to the fire. Then he looks back, eyeing the mark on your wrists. Understanding dawns on him, and his eyes widen in fear. He goes to draw his sword as the other four turn to face you.
Okay, you don't pull swords on me, bitch. I'm not threatening. Choose one Oathsworn to perform a threatening check. Difficulty 4. 3 if you're an Ursus. Okay, so if you brought the bear. Interesting. I'll have the exile perform a threatening check. This works the same as the other. Basically, I need 4 successes. to draw 5 cards. Failure.
As the man draws his weapon, the closest dog tries to grab him by the wrist and throat. He wrenches free, and with practiced technique, the other guards draw their blades too. They attack.
Form a round of combat. Sometimes during the story, the free company may get itself into a situation where a fight breaks out. Resolved by performing a single round of combat. Each Oathsworn must draw a single attack against the enemy. Combat tokens may be used, but special abilities or item abilities may not. To perform this attack, the player draws any number of their character's might cards as depicted on their might track. And up to 10 white cards. If 2 or more blanks are drawn, the attack misses and causes no damage. Otherwise, the attack hits, and the sum of all the numbers on the cards drawn is the damage dealt. The damage dealt is equal to or greater than the enemy's defense. The Oathsworn succeeds. If the damage is lower, the Oathsworn fails. So basically, you always win, but if you don't pass the test, you lose a hit point going into the encounter. Alright, so in terms of might, my priest and my ranger both have 1 might. So let me shuffle up the might cards. Maybe we'll mix it up here. Maybe I'll roll dice for some of these guys. I'll draw cards for my companions and roll dice for my characters. This is a really elegant system. I like the multifunctional nature of these cards and dice. Okay, so they each get a yellow. Defense 4. White cards each. Let's see what happens. 2, 3, 4. The blank. Is it greater than or equal to or greater than? Equal to or more than the enemy's defense, the Oathsworn succeeds. Okay.
The rain washes their blood over the lip of the wall and down the staircase.
What happens if they succeed? They just don't lose their points. Okay, so she's successful. Ooh, we got a blank. It's not good. Yeah, he fails. He fails. So he loses a hit point. And then the lads are going to roll dice. The exile's going to roll 5 dice. Failure. Oof. Penitent's going to roll 4. You did it. Yay.
The bodies of the guards lay scattered around you. You did not get their confession, but justice was served. Leaving their equipment for the next guards who stand there, you begin to trudge along the wall, looking for the place where the bodies were dumped. You come to a point in the parapet where faint bloodstains can be seen on the crenellations. Peering over the wall, you find what you've been looking for. At its base are the thick wooden stakes used in all settlements to ward off the denizens of the deep wood. Among these stakes is also a matted mass of blood-soaked grass and earth, in the centre of which is a small mound of corpses. You imagine these are fresh, as this much meat would not last longer than a day in the deep wood. This flesh pile is what calls the thing or things to the town. Oddly, you also see a rope hanging down from the parapet. Looking between the branches and limbs of the black trees, you can make out a figure. What could possess a person to go into the deep wood alone? You have no time to ponder as the figure rushes back towards the wall. Then you see them. A pack of giant rats the size of wolves enter your view, galloping across the space. A horde of festering fur and yellow teeth close on a man in guard's uniform. He won't make it, and he knows it. He turns and bellows defiantly at the rats as they hiss back.
So I have an option. Climb down the wall and come to the man's aid, or give up the man for dead and throw a flaming brazier of explosive amber off the wall down on them both. Yeah, my MO is to get shit done. Whoever this guy is, it's more likely than not that he's some kind of a scumbag. And this flaming brazier sounds like it could actually do some damage. I'm going to do that. All Oathsworn gain a defense token.
Orange flames wreathe the fist-sized stones that burn in the iron brazier. You carefully lift the brazier to the lip of the wall and heave it over. Glowing streaks fill the air as the amber rains down on the man and the pack closing in on him. The brazier strikes the amber with a spark, and flames engulf the scene below. White light fills your eyes, and you instinctively raise your hands to ward them from the heat. A crack like thunder rolls over you and then recedes. You peer over the wall. Charred, twisted bodies and twitching limbs spew smoke. In the middle, you can make out the guard's body. It was a better way to go than what the rats had planned. At least this was quick. Descending the rope, you go to inspect the carcasses. Half a dozen are scattered around. They must have been attracted by the corpses, then found their way into the town. Crouching beside one of the hideous things, you take a closer look.
Perform a reasoning check, difficulty 4. I'm going to draw 5.
The bodies are too badly damaged. There is not too much you can draw from them, but you doubt this was all of them. Confirmation comes as a woman's scream pierces the deep wood behind you. Sometimes you hate being right. You look off to the tree line and check your compass. This item is near sacred to you as well as all free companies. It is the only chance you have of navigating your way back after you enter the deep wood. You steel yourself and head in.
Add a time token to the time track. Do not trigger any effects on the time track. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token. Is a redraw token. Certainly stacking up a pile of tokens.
The trail is not hard to follow. The sickly brush is torn and trampled by many feet. A few hundred yards from the city walls, you come across a large circular depression littered with scraps and bones. Then you see her, the hulking rat-like form of the broodmother. She is twice the height of a man. Her back undulates with rats that swarm around her. At her feet is the torn body of a woman, evidently the source of the scream. Perhaps this was why the guard was prepared to enter the woods. The broodmother lifts her huge snout, testing the air. Her great head of rotten fur and gnawing teeth rolls towards you, and with ravenous hunger, her eyes meet yours.
That does not sound good. If you have the mystery chest, open mystery box 1. Do not have the mystery chest, open mystery envelope 1. Proceed to the chapter 1 encounter in the encounter book. So I'm going to save that for next time. And we will take a look at the broodmother and set up the encounter. But this was actually surprisingly fun. I haven't not played a ton of these games that simulate a kind of choose your own adventure elements in the past, and so I don't have a ton of experience with the mechanic, but I like this mechanic. I like the idea of the map and your time being tracked, and I imagine that this has some impacts, as you get into the campaign, where certain decisions that possibly even decisions that I made in this playthrough were not available to me based off of where it went. And we saw that, right? Some of the spots on the map got wiped out. So very cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to doing the encounter. So keep an eye on the channel for that. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later.